All right, so this is the Richland County Public Safety Standing Committee. We apologize for the little bit of the late start, the holidays and meeting quorum and all that fun stuff. So hopefully everybody had a safe New Year and Christmas season. So let's get going. Call to order. Number 2, roll call, please.
Here, Kirk, Cosgrove, Frank,
Here.
Severson,
Present.
and Fleming.
Here.
Excellent. Verification of the open meeting law compliance. Everything's been taken care of?
Yes, that's correctly, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Approval of agenda. We have a 12-point agenda. Looking for a motion to approve such agenda. Tiffany, motion by Tiffany. Looking for a second.
Second.
All right. Second by Severson. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, anyone opposed? Very good. Moving on, approval of the minutes of December 5th, 2025. Looking for a motion to approve those minutes. Thank you, Tiffany. Looking for a second.
Second.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Severson. Any other discussion? All in favor of those minutes, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Moving on, thank you very much. Item number 6, public comment. Looking for public comment, first of all, from the room. Any public comment from the room? Public comment from the room? Okay, hearing none. Any public comment from the online? Anybody online, public comment? Online public comment. Hearing none, moving on to item number 7, reports. Sheriff, department activities and monthly bills.
So for December, we had 34 bookings for the month. Average number of inmates housed was 33. We had 334 complaints for the month, 39 traffic citations issued, 12 civil process papers served, 4 transports, and we had an average of 2 on electronic monitoring. Dispatch activity, we had 571 calls for service, 102 calls for EMS, 107 calls for the police department, and 15 calls for the fire department. We are full staff. We currently have 1 individual here in Frederick who was just hired in November as a casual. He's still working on training, but all others have completed training. Any question about the squad update or the bills?
Questions from the committee? Squad update, the bills. Good to see you're fully staffed finally.
That's a good.
It's been the first time, and I don't want to go for how long.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
A good mark. Questions from the committee? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to item number B, the coroner report. Coroner report is in your packets. Including the end of year summary. 10 calls during December, ages of the deaths, 42 to 87. So everything's in there. Thank you for the end of year summary, Jim. Any other comments or questions on the coroner department activities? Hearing none, moving on to item C, circuit court judge department activities.
So the judge is not able to join us this morning. She's actually in a treatment court. So because of the holidays, they're holding treatment court today. So they have a meeting starting at 8:30, and then they have the regular treatment court hearings at 10 o'clock. And so anyway, it was a full morning of treatment court. So that's where she's at this morning. She did want me to pass on just a couple things. She's looking forward to the, we're pleased that the facilities committee has been formed by the board of supervisors, and just looking forward to the new things that are going to happen, and hopefully some improvements in the small courtroom. We've been patiently trying to wait for those, but so hopefully with that, the creation of that committee, things can start moving forward in 2026. So, and that includes all of the things we've been talking about with security and safety. And so if we are able to move forward with improvements in the small courtroom, that would be great. And then that will allow us to also move forward with the Zoom, which has been put on hold because we thought, why move forward if we're going to remodel? So all of those are tied together. So looking forward to updating in this building if that's the direction we're going to go. She has also been working on looking at improving the seating in the courtroom. So just a friendly reminder that the jury seats, the jury chairs that we have right now are from the old nursing home from Old Pine Valley. Not that that is bad, but she just, again, we are using things that came from the previous Pine Valley. So we're working on trying to update things, make them look better, make them look professional. So some of those changes we have implemented in 2025. We got some new chairs, and we're hoping to maybe do some additional improvements in 2026. So that was kind of the main things that she's been working on. We've also, with the security, so we did have the courthouse security meeting on December 15th. And, we're there again, we're still trying to improve things within the building. So she kind of felt like there's three components, the physical component we've been talking about, maybe in 2027, getting a metal detector, those types of things that improve the physical structure. And then two, that leads to staffing. We already have made improvements with the courtroom security, and we're looking at what would it take as far as staffing, which correlates with the sheriff's department. And then we're also trying to come back and do additional training for not only our staff, but potentially the whole building. And so those are kind of the main focuses. We've been meeting with John Heinen, even though he's leaving. He has been a great help up to the very end. I think he's continuing to work hard till his very last day. So I have a to-do list that John gave me, and but those are kind of the three things that with the courthouse security that we're looking at is physical things, staffing, training, and education. She did one last thing, just real quick, and when we're kind of talking about things, just to remember to, kind of talk in generalities so that we don't provide too much information to the public on when we're exposing our vulnerabilities. So I think that was a little bit of things just to keep in mind with all of this committee, the facilities committee, and the courthouse security is that we want to make improvements without giving too much information.
Sure.
So that was pretty much all she had.
All right, so it sounds like there's a plan and steps are in place, and now we got to get that started. Is that?
I think the vision has started. Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
We got to get the work started. With the work started. Then.
Yeah, and I think even the work has started is just a continuation.
I think we'd like to see it get done in 2026.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gone long enough, and yeah, we don't want to give away all details, but we also need board buy-in and public buy-in so that people don't think that we're frivolously spending money. It's for the safety of everybody in this building. It's not just a bunch of workers whining. It's really, these are safety observations backed up by, recommendations from safety professionals too.
All right, pretty good. Anything else?
No.
Any questions then for the circuit court judge and courthouse security report? Does that cover that also? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else from the committee? Questions?
When's the
Hearing-
next courthouse security meeting?
That will be in March, and it's scheduled at 3:00, 3 to 4:30, and I'll bring the date, but it's towards the middle to end of March.
Is that after the annual security conference?
I will have to check.
Does Richland County have anybody going? Board members can go to the annual security conference in Appleton.
correct?
And the judge did attend that last year. I will have to check her calendar in March. I don't have the 2026 calendar in my head quite yet.
And I know you've been to it, you and I have both been to it, and it's a good
So
conference.
yeah, it's good,
Very
good vision of
good.
how things are coming together and ideas.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So you'll get back to, so March then, you'll get back to us on the date in March for the next courthouse security.
Yeah, it's been set. I just can't tell you.
Okay,
off the
that's
top of
perfect.
my-
Very good. All right, anything else or any questions for circuit court judge or courthouse security reports? Hearing nothing, moving on to the clerk of court.
Happy New Year.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. As we wound down on 2025, last couple weeks of the year, usually have less court activity. We use those times to do longer types of projects that we can tackle when we have less need for staff to be in the courtroom all the time. So some of the things that we have been working on in our office are like case purging for the Supreme Court rules and for case retention. And I think for example, I don't know the numbers on everything, but I remember as I ran the list, like misdemeanors, for example, they were kept for 20 years post disposition. And we purged 600 of those the other day. So the software has been developed by the state of Wisconsin Circuit Court system to be able to read all the pieces of data and determine which ones are eligible for purge. So when we run those lists, print the list off, we start physically pulling case files. And then when we purge, that makes those cases no longer part of our like case inventory basically. And it makes it consistent with what circuit court access, which everybody loosely calls CCAP, what people see online. So what we are trying to avoid is people coming in and being able to search for records that are no longer supposed to be displayed, which if we don't purge, they're gonna still be in the court access computer downstairs, like in the hallway. And we would have to, if somebody said, I want this record, we'd have to provide it. And so I guess I strongly adhere with Supreme Court rules, and I believe that once case retention is done, that data should no longer display anywhere. And so if somebody asks me for that case file, I just say, we don't have a file. We don't have a file on that. And the state legislature has changed some of the laws recently with how long certain types of small claims, like evictions and such, how long they display. And that's in response to like consumer groups advocacy, to try to keep people, like particularly impoverished persons, to keep what's so easily searched on CCAP from keeping people from being able to find a place to live. So some of those things that used to be retained for like 20 years have went down to like 2 years past and things like that. And dismiss small claims, I think are like a year. And so they come off fairly quickly. So we feel it's important to make sure we're at least once a year running and purging all this. So when we're purging, desk may have like pull all this stuff out, you've got piles. And then we're filling up like every single shred dumpster downstairs, removing the metal from every case, the clips and stuff, and then purging. But it's just good housekeeping kind of stuff, and it also keeps our public records the way that they should be. We've been working with the sheriff's department. Clay and I have been working on Village of Lone Rock stuff. I think in 2026, probably Lone Rock will be running their municipal tickets through the circuit court for the first time. So right now, the only village or city in Richland County that runs their all their municipal tickets through us, or their tickets through us, is the city of Richland Center. So when the officers make traffic stops, all of those tickets go through the circuit court for disposition. The Village of Iola only puts OWIs through circuit court. All of their other tickets, they still have a municipal court. And still Lone Rock has a municipal court, but they want to come through our circuit court. And then that means the tickets they issue are going to be for a much higher amount because they'll have to include the state surcharges and things like that onto their citations, and I will serve as the collector of all their fines. So it'll be a little bit more work for us. I don't know what the volume is of their stuff. I don't think it's
I
great,
don't think it's gonna be a large volume, no. So, but it'll be more.
but they have to determine what those ordinances are. They have to get them loaded in tracks. All of that has to happen first before I can set up so it mirrors tracks so that I can configure the CCAP software for it. It doesn't work the other way around. And so I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding in that. So I'm waiting for them. And that's where we're at on that.
We, the information is off to tracks now.
Okay.
Because we were having trouble getting hold of the person that we usually work with at tracks, but it's off to tracks now, and so hopefully we'll have that stuff here shortly. And I don't know the exact number here and might know off the top of his head, but it was about a dozen ordinances that we're gonna
Cool.
start with. Just that stuff they wanted addressed right away that we're gonna start with,
Very cool.
and maybe we'll filter in a few more after that, but
Okay.
the first batch is about a dozen.
Excellent.
And the sheriff's department is contracting law enforcement services with Lone Rock?
Yep.
Which is why this makes it a very nice process on top of that, okay.
But it's really weird. Well, it's not weird, but it makes sense. But the software, in order for all these software interfaces to talk the way they should, the placement of every period, every parentheses, every space, it all has to align perfectly. And if it doesn't, the citations won't pull through. And so that's why I'm like, well, you guys get the track set up and then we will make sure that we get the CCAP software set up in the exact same image to mirror that. So if you hear anybody that's like, what's the hitch in the giddy up? It's not us.
Process.
Starting the first of this year, and actually we started this in December with small claims that were filed because they would have court dates in this year. All small claims filed in Richland County for money judgments or civil cases under $10,000 of value, or replevins, which means repossessions of vehicles or other property, or evictions. All of those types of cases now have to have formal service before they can be considered for a judgment in court. Previously, replevins, the repossessions, and the evictions by law required a type of formal service already. But if a county had a local court rule permitting the use of first-class mail, money judgments that were claims onto Richland County residents could be served just by first-class mail from the clerk of court. So what has happened with changes in the mail service, and that is often the court date comes for a small claims case and we haven't received anything back like undeliverable. So it's presumed that the person that the claim is issued on, that they received that paperwork, but then maybe a week after the claim is adjudicated by the judge, we get back undeliverable mail. So we have made the decision to go with formal service on all small claims and worked extensively with Clay and the sheriff's department on this because we know it impacts them. We think it's probably about 20 additional service requirements every month, right? So that should raise some revenue for the sheriff's department. It takes a little bit of revenue away from the court, but the bottom line impact to the county will be greater because mail service under current statute is $2. So the clerk of court, every time they have to send out this type of mail service is $2. And sheriff's department is 100. So I think the county will come out a little better on this, and I think it is also better just to assure that the people that have claims being brought against them, that they know about those. And landlords and others already have to do that type of service, so it's good. It's, and our judge has worked with the court commissioner, and they're revising Richland County's local court rules, which are published then through the state bar. So attorneys all can see that this is how it is, but our office notified all the attorneys who work within small claims of this change, and we reconfigured our software so that on their end, when they file for small claims, they can see that they have to achieve formal service now. So that's a pretty significant change within the civil world, but I think it's for the best. And then just last thing that I was wondering if I could have an agenda item placed on the next agenda. This committee has been called, it's been named different things throughout the years, currently public safety. In recent years, it was public safety and judiciary. Somewhere along the line, like with the previous administrator, the judiciary got dropped when they wrote the list of committees. And Jen, register and probate, myself, and the judge, we are part of the circuit court. We're a judiciary. We're part of the judicial branch. We're not part of the executive branch, which the sheriff and the district attorney are. And Bob knows that years ago, it used to be law enforcement and judiciary committee.
Yeah.
So I just think it, sometimes there's nothing to a name. Sometimes it means more. And I think, for me personally, I think that I just think it's a cleanup thing. And it leads to confusion when people think that, like my office, we're constantly explaining to people, we're not the prosecutor, we're not the defense attorney, and we're not law enforcement. We are, where the court resolves conflicts, and that does play into public safety. We're not law enforcement. So I don't know why that, I think it was just by accident that it got dropped. I did ask the previous administrator about this, and she told me that it was a done deal. Now, she's not here, and I think it's just important that we get back to what it really is.
Well, I think we certainly had that discussion. I know the other executive standing committees have other organizations under them also that aren't always given in the title. I know Highway Department has different organizations that, so I think an overview of all the titles of the standing committees might be in order to
Yeah,
see,
maybe it's
to make sure that it's covering,
right. And
covering those needs to have that discussion.
yeah, I think that sounds really good. I think that it's important just for public's understanding.
Okay.
And for our own, for recognition that the judiciary is, we are a separate and equal leg of government. And yeah, just for accuracy, which we're all about.
Sure, yeah, and like, again, I think there's a number of committees that have parks is under one group that's not,
Right.
is that, so I think that might be an idea to.
Yeah, I'm not asking for another,
Subtitle things too.
I'm not asking for another committee or anything. I'm just asking for the title to be.
We don't need a
correct.
committee to create a committee's.
No.
name committees.
No. Thank you.
All right, yeah, we get. All right, anything else?
No, thank you.
Questions for the register, for the clerk of court? Hearing none, thank you. Moving on, register and probate.
So for December, we're been working hard on sending out the year-end reports for guardianship cases. That's always a big mailing for us to get all of those out. So for each guardianship case where there is someone under guardianship, they have to do a report back to the courts on the report of the person, how that person is doing, and also a financial report. So that is just to make sure in the guardianships that someone is not being exploited or taken advantage of either financially or otherwise, and that their needs are being taken care of. So that mailing goes out here at the end of the year for the year of 2025. So that's what we've been working on a lot the last 2 weeks, I would say. And we'll be finishing that up probably today and maybe Monday. So that's what we've been kind of working on in our office. A second part is just to, as far as on the probate side of things, both for people that are trying to do cases pro se without an attorney, And as well as with attorneys, part of our job is to kind of help nudge them along and keep them on task. So in Wisconsin, by Wisconsin law, you have 18 months to complete a probate process. And I know this might surprise you, but we have to send letters and set hearings and stuff because people procrastinate and don't get those completed within the 18 months. So I try and encourage them. I remind them when it hits a year that Richland County likes to have these done within a year, but I get reminded that per Wisconsin statute, they have 18 months, but sometimes they go beyond that. And part of the reason for that is sometimes they're trying to sell property. There's, dynamics in different families that put up roadblocks and things. So that is also kind of what we're doing here at the end of the year, is to nudge people and attorneys along to finish up their cases and get moving on them, in addition to submitting their bills. So some of our job is to remind people of what needs to be done yet. Then I wanted to just kind of back up, just kind of behind the scenes on the security report. There's been meetings that have happened. Just to I wanted to acknowledge, we had a meeting with Clay and Mike Sis and Devin and Stacy's partaken in those. And so there's things happening with the courthouse security in addition to the courthouse meeting that are happening too. So there's work being done to keep things moving along. I just kind of wanted to reiterate that and to back up and say thank you, and realize that sometimes that's not always seen, but it is appreciated. And as you can see from this meeting, how we all tie together, from the clerk of courts to the register of probate, the sheriff's department. It is really, to keep everything running is really a Richland County team effort with the people in this committee. So just wanted to point that out. And as far as budget, my budget is on track for right now. I don't anticipate any big changes coming. So I think that for the 2025 budget, it'll be
Good.
Within or under budget. So.
Very good. All right, anything else?
No.
Excellent. So, register and probate, any questions from the committee? Thank you for the update on that. Hearing nothing, district attorney? Anything from the district attorney?
I think she is actually out of the office today.
All right. Moving on, ambulance service. Mark?
Right. So this is my first time reporting to this committee. So my question will be, if you want more information, I'm used to reporting to the JEC, and their request for information was always more. What I would give is our maintenance costs on our ambulances, updates that we have, and where we were at budget. What I can tell you is that for budget, our expenses through November, I don't have the December reports, we are under where we should be by about 5%. So we're doing well with the expenses. Income, November was our biggest month for income ever, almost double what we've ever seen. And so we are almost to our year-end projected income. So with that in mind, we should have at the end of the year a budget that has money to be able to put towards the ambulance purchase line. There are a couple of things that will affect that. Unit 33, there was an incident with wild animal, and that
White-tailed one?
a
or-
white-tailed one.
Just curious.
And that is scheduled for repair, hopefully very soon. We're waiting on parts to arrive. There's a $5,000 deductible, and the total cost is estimated at $5,600, so we'll be paying the full amount and not doing an insurance claim. That'll, of course, take part of that money that we were hoping to have. In that, we'll have to use for repairs. Maintenance, the only December cost for maintenance was a $367 charge for Unit 35, which Unit 35 continues to be our highest cost ambulance. It's just a lot of money put into that. I will be staying with the department for another 6 months as interim. At that point, hopefully the district will be well underway to formation. And we can see what direction the ambulance service is going. The other things that, we are fully staffed. We have a lot of our staff is writing registry exams to upgrade their licenses. We have one of our EMTs has already upgraded to a EMT. And we have 2 EMTs that just got their license and, I'm sorry, 3 EMTs that just got their license. So they were drivers before, now they're licensed EMTs. We just have to finish credentialing with 2. With that, we'll have openings for 2 driver positions when we move those people up into EMT spots. So staffing is good. We are fully staffed. And is there any other information that you would like to have?
So, just so as a recap, how many hours a week are you in the position of?
15 to 20.
20 hours a week, right? So that's not, currently, it's not a full-time position. That's what the counties work with at this point. So thank you for hanging on for another 6 months as we go through that process. From the committee, what information are we wanting to see? My view on this is the platform to bring up concerns, interests. We obviously want to see budget numbers so we can start making and helping make decisions. And I've worked with you enough on those things, Barb, to know that. So whatever concerns you have, the reporting allows the public to hear what's going on, allows them to come in and listen and see what the numbers are and see what the departments are doing. And I think that's important for the public to hear once a month what's happening and having a platform.
The only concern that I'll bring forward is my staff is amazing. I absolutely have 0 complaints. I have a wonderful, wonderful crew that supports me amazingly. It is very, very, very difficult for them to continually be hearing, we have to wait another 6 months before we know what we're going to do with you. The sooner that the board and the committee and the board can give them an answer, it would be greatly appreciated. It's very stressful for them.
Okay.
So that would be the one thing that we would ask of you, is if we could get better direction on what the thoughts of the committee and the board are.
Okay. And the overall view of the district and the organizations and people that are starting to meld and make decisions. So, okay.
I just have one comment.
If there are updates. Yes, someone online?
Going on with what Director Scott was talking about with trying to figure out the direction that we're going. I thought she just stated that we're already going to be going to a district within the next 6 months or maybe longer. So I think the answer was already there, wasn't it?
Well, if my understanding is that there was a meeting that wasn't attended well. So I'm not certain.
So I think there's some vision, but there's been no decisions on ideas, is my
Right.
understanding at this point. Is that right? So, and those pieces are still in flux, and I think 2026, hopefully early in 2026, we'll have some better direction on what the different organizations are choosing to do. That's generic enough because we don't have clear direction.
Right.
Does that help, sort of?
I just didn't know. This is the first time I heard that we're going to go to a district, because that wasn't part of any other topic that we weren't going to go anywhere else yet. We're still in the study phase. So I just thought the decision was already made by the administration that we're going to a district regardless. So
I think that's the desire of everyone, is what I've been feeling. And even if we go to a district, it doesn't mean that the county wouldn't still, even if the townships formed a district, it doesn't mean that the ambulance wouldn't be still run by the county. the district could choose to elect to have the ambulance run by the county.
Wherever, okay.
That is my understanding, I believe.
And that's the process that they're in
That's what
deciding,
they're-
right? That's what they're trying to figure out.
Discovery, yeah.
Right, those are the steps that are in the process to decide. Okay, all right,
The only other, I forgot one more thing. We are changing billing companies.
okay,
I don't want to put, we've interviewed two and, final selection will be made this month.
questions then? Obviously the first time here with this, so, we'll have more information in February.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Emergency management, department activities, there's a document in here. John Heinen has given notice will no longer be the emergency management director for Richland County. Last full-time with the county is December 31st. John has agreed to work additional hours in January as there are 2 grants that need to be closed out for 2025. The emergency management will now be under the direction of the highway department. However, they will still be directed to this committee. They won't be under the highway committee. They'll still be under the public safety committee for reporting because that's kind of a piece of this group. And the emergency management position has been posted with the deadline of January 19th. Okay, a resolution in February for the position. A resolution in February honoring the dedication of John Heinen to the county. We will also work to appoint an emergency management director later this month. So, any questions on that? I want to thank John for his work and what he's done, and life moves on. So, all right, hearing nothing else, moving on to the PSAP NG 911 grants. Anything new? I see round 2 for the PSAP grant was just released, so there's a second round of money available for that.
Okay.
So keep your eye on that. Not all the funds were used in round 1, so there's opportunity in round 2.
For 26.
Yes,
That's already up.
yes,
Oh,
yeah. Round 2 just came up. Just saw it about a week ago.
Okay.
So, this is Devin.
Yes,
I have
Deb.
a couple of updates. So for the 25 PSAP grant for our round 1, we have completed that and we are getting ready to submit we'll probably wait until the 6 months to submit the final, but we've finished up everything that we had for that grant. And then for the 26 PSAP grant, we just got approved for that. So we've been working with Dick Bus on getting a new dispatch furniture layout. And then we're also approved for that. We got some dispatch training that we'll be sending a couple to dispatch trainer training so they can be certified dispatch trainers. And then also some to WIPSCOM. So we're working on that.
And the 2026 round 2 grant too, if you want to watch for that, or I'll send you a copy of that was just released. Still waiting.
So I see that, but the way I read it was that it's only open for people who were not awarded round 1.
So keep your eye on that, just because if not enough people turn in for round 1, still have some money available.
Okay.
So if there's anything that you missed in yours, I guess just follow up to make sure that everything you need is done.
Okay.
And the GIS part, or sorry, the GIS part still hasn't come out. That hopefully will come out this month. So we're waiting on that. All right. Anything else on the grants? Hearing none. Radio tower project.
Much of an update. Then they are working on they're doing antenna work and dish work on the towers. Sure, I can see if I can pull up here with the last update, but they have pathing done for the microwave on a number of sites, and they're kind of slowly knocking out the microwave connection and all the pathing for all that. So let's see here.
Coming along.
It's coming along, yeah. My last update was I feel like I have the 23rd. I don't think that's current. I think there's been more work since then, but, yeah, Gotham, Viola, Bunker, Keysville, Richland Center. So Center to Gotham, Boaz to Viola, Yuba to Bunker, Bunker to Keysville, Keysville to Richland Center. Those are pathed. So there's still a few more to work on, but they've done some decent work. They're really pushing right now. I think it seems to try and get stuff done. We did have a handful of portable radios that have been programmed with the new channels, so we can start testing it when things are live. We still have to do the bulk of the portables in the fleet yet, but we do have a handful of radios now that are ready to go.
To start the testing.
Yep.
All right, excellent. Anything else or questions on the radio tower project? Finally seeing that come together. All right, item 8, discussion and possible action and resolution commemorating the service of Christian Sapek to the Richland County Sheriff's Office.
So I had a draft resolution in the packet.
Okay.
If there's anybody who has any recommendations, changes they would want to see made to that.
Looking for a motion to accept this or changes to it?
Move for approval.
All right. Stevenson makes a motion, looking for a second. All right, Tiffany second. Further discussion? Thanks, Barb. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That will be going on then to county board. Thank you very much. Item number 9, discussion and possible action amendment to the minutes of November 7th, 2025 meeting. Let's take that, Miranda.
So you got all, our minutes were from November, but I made an error in the first paragraph there. I have it highlighted. I noted that it was September. It should be November. So since you all approved them at last month, I need you to approve me to amend my minutes so I can repost them with the correct date there.
And to her credit, none of us caught that.
I must apologize.
Oh, no, we should have caught that too. So that's not just you. That's why we go through the process. And the process in this case, we missed it too. So I will need a motion to update the November 7 minutes with the recommended changes. All right, Tiffany makes that motion, looking for a second.
Second.
Severson seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that is moved forward. Item number 10, correspondence. Any correspondence? Ooh, nothing new. All right. Number 11, future agenda items. Next month, we will be doing a jail inspection. So the committee members know that we will have our regular meeting. We will break from the meeting and go and do the actual walk through the physical jail as required of this committee. Stacy, you also mentioned the public naming. I'd like to bring that directly to executive, if that's okay with you, and start with
I
discussion.
just realized that the first Friday of February, I'm not gonna be here, so
Okay,
I wanna be here when it's discussed, whenever,
okay,
whatever meeting it's discussed, I hope to, I'm
Yes.
gone the first week of February.
okay. I will follow up on that and get back to you as to the direction that,
Cool.
we'll see what
Thank you.
happens with that. Okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Fair. All right. Any other future agenda items?
That jail inspection. And I will.
Okay.
Involving the jail and other sheriff's office activities, so
Perfect.
we'll do that as well.
All right. Very good. Anything else? Item number 12, adjournment. Looking for motion to adjourn. All right. Thompson, looks a motion to adjourn. Looking for a second.
Second.
Was that?
Carrie.
Was it Carrie? All right. Sounded different. All right. Severson seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you for being here on January 2nd. Everybody have a safe day.
So Bob, do you know who is on the facilities committee? Do
Uh,
you know by chance who the supervisors are that are